Historical and theoretical developments and group dynamics. The development of group work in the field of psychology has a rich history and is grounded in various theoretical approaches that have significantly shaped its practice. Understanding the historical and theoretical developments, along with the dynamics that emerge within groups, is crucial for any group leader aiming to facilitate effective therapeutic or counseling groups. The origins of group work can be traced back to the early 20th century, a period marked by a growing interest in the social aspects of human behavior. The work of Kurt Lewin, often regarded as the father of group dynamics, laid the foundation for understanding how individuals interact within groups. Lewin's field theory, which posited that behavior is a function of the person and their environment, provided a framework for exploring how group members influence one another and how group processes unfold over time. His work on group dynamics introduced key concepts such as group cohesion, social norms, and leadership styles, all of which continue to be relevant in modern group work. As group work evolved, several theories emerged that have shaped the way group counseling and therapy are conducted today. Psychoanalytic theory, originally developed by Sigmund Freud, influenced the understanding of group processes, particularly the role of unconscious dynamics and transference within groups. Freud's ideas were further developed by Wilfred Bion, who explored how groups operate on an unconscious level, introducing concepts like basic assumption groups, where members unconsciously adopt specific roles such as dependency, fight, flight, or pairing. Humanistic approaches, particularly the work of Carl Rogers, also had a profound impact on group work. Rogers emphasized the importance of creating a supportive and empathetic environment where group members could explore their feelings and experiences without fear of judgment. His person-centered approach stressed the value of unconditional positive regard, empathy, and congruence in group settings, which are essential for fostering trust and openness among group members. Behavioral and cognitive behavioral theories have contributed techniques and interventions that are widely used in group work today. These approaches focus on modifying maladaptive behaviors and thought patterns through structured activities, role-playing, and the development of coping skills. Techniques such as cognitive restructuring, where group members learn to identify and challenge distorted thinking, are particularly effective in groups focused on issues like anxiety, depression, and substance abuse. The stages of group development, as outlined by Bruce Tuckman, provide a useful framework for understanding how groups evolve over time. These stages are forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. During the forming stage, members are often polite and cautious as they get to know one another. The leader's role at this stage is to create a welcoming environment and to help members understand the group's purpose and goals. This stage sets the foundation for the group's development and is critical for establishing trust. The storming stage is often characterized by conflict as members begin to assert their opinions and challenge the group's structure. This stage can be difficult, but it is also essential for the group's growth. The leader must manage conflicts effectively, helping members to navigate disagreements and develop constructive ways of interacting. Failure to address conflicts during this stage can lead to lingering resentment and hinder the group's progress. Once the group moves past the storming stage, it enters the norming stage, where members begin to establish norms and roles within the group. Cohesion increases as members become more comfortable with each other and more committed to the group's goals. The leader's role during this stage is to support the group's momentum, reinforcing positive behaviors and helping to solidify the group's structure. In the performing stage, the group reaches its peak efficiency. Members work collaboratively towards the group's goals, and the leader can take a more hands-off approach, intervening only when necessary. This stage is where the most significant progress is made, as members are fully engaged and motivated to achieve the group's objectives. Finally, the adjourning stage occurs as the group prepares to disband. This stage can be emotional for members, as they reflect on their progress and the relationships they have formed. The leader's role is to facilitate this process, helping members to process their experiences and prepare for the group's ending. Closure is an important aspect of the adjourning stage, as it allows members to leave the group with a sense of completion and readiness to apply what they have learned to their lives outside of the group. Group dynamics encompass the complex interactions and processes that occur within a group, influencing the behavior, attitudes, and overall functioning of its members. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for effective group work, whether in therapy, counseling, or other settings. Leaders will sometimes provide therapy that focuses on process by addressing the underlying group dynamics and how they impact both the individual member and the group as a whole. Instead of solely concentrating on the content of what is being shared, the leader highlights a behavior and invites group members to express how it affects them. This approach encourages the member to gain awareness of how their behavior influences their ability to connect with others, thereby fostering insight and promoting change. By focusing on the process, the leader helps the member and the group better understand relational patterns and their consequences in real time. The physical setting where a group meets plays a significant role in shaping its dynamics. A well-chosen setting can enhance the group's effectiveness, while a poorly chosen one can hinder it. A room that is quiet, private, and comfortably arranged can encourage group members to feel more at ease, thereby facilitating open communication. For instance, a circular seating arrangement allows everyone to see each other, which fosters a sense of inclusion and equality among members. In contrast, if the room is noisy, lacks privacy, or is poorly arranged, members may feel uncomfortable, which can inhibit their willingness to participate. Concerns about confidentiality in less private settings can create anxiety, reducing the effectiveness of the group. Therefore, the leader should carefully consider these factors and strive to create a physical environment that supports the group's goals. Counseling and therapy groups differ significantly from other types of groups, such as growth and support groups, in terms of focus and purpose. Counseling and therapy groups are designed to address specific individual concerns in a deep and meaningful way. These groups aim to help members resolve personal issues that interfere with their daily lives, such as trauma or anxiety. In contrast, growth and support groups typically focus on providing a space for members to share experiences and support each other without the same depth of therapeutic intervention. For example, while a support group might focus on sharing strategies for coping with chronic illness, a therapy group would delve into the underlying psychological issues related to the illness, guided by therapeutic techniques and interventions. In group settings, it is essential for the leader to manage conflicts and sensitive situations carefully to maintain the group's effectiveness and cohesion. For instance, if a member is being attacked for their race, the leader's response was crucial in preserving trust within the group. The leader can do this by explaining that such attacks will not be permitted, showing concern and support for the member under attack, and discussing how the comments could have been expressed differently so that the attacking member feels heard without harming others. This approach not only protects the targeted member, but also reinforces the group's norms and values, ensuring that the group remains a safe and supportive environment for all members. Handling inappropriate or harmful comments is also vital in maintaining the integrity of the group. For example, when one member suggests to another that he should apologize to his wife for yelling at her, assuming it will mend their relationship, the leader needs to intervene. This comment reflects the member's own values and assumptions without full knowledge of the situation. Cutting off such comments is necessary because they can be misleading and potentially harmful if they influence other group members. Managing emotional responses within the group is another key aspect of group dynamics. If a member begins to cry during a session, the leader must assess whether the tears are a result of genuine pain or an attempt to gain sympathy from others. Understanding the motivation behind the tears is essential for determining the appropriate response, whether to offer support or to gently challenge the behavior if it seems manipulative. This ensures that the group remains focused on its therapeutic goals while also addressing the emotional needs of its members. Another challenge in group dynamics is dealing with rescuing behavior, where a member tries to reassure another by offering overly simplistic advice. For example, when a member says, "Don't worry, everything will be okay, you just have to make the best of things, this reflects a rescuing attitude. While the intent may be to comfort, such comments can minimize the other person's feelings and experiences. The leader must recognize and address this behavior to ensure that all members are allowed to fully express their emotions without being dismissed or invalidated. Group dynamics also evolve over time as the group progresses through different stages of development. According to Bruce Tuckman's model, these stages include forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. During the forming stage, members are often polite and cautious as they get to know one another and begin to understand the group's purpose. The leader's role at this stage is to create a welcoming and supportive environment, helping members feel comfortable and setting clear goals and expectations for the group. As the group moves into the storming stage, conflicts may arise as members assert their opinions and challenge the group's structure. While this stage can be difficult, it is also necessary for the group's growth. The leader must manage conflicts effectively, helping members navigate disagreements and develop constructive ways of interacting. Failure to address conflicts during this stage can lead to lingering resentment and hinder the group's progress. In considering the practical applications of these concepts, it is essential to understand how different types of groups function and what makes them effective. For example, a recovery group for newly divorced clients who have experienced significant trauma would focus on helping members process their grief and loss. This type of group is different from a starting over group, which is designed for individuals who have already worked through the initial stages of grief and are ready to build a new support system and engage in new behaviors. In a starting over group for divorced women, discussions may focus on members' private logic regarding the challenges of meeting new people. This approach is grounded in Adlerian theory, which emphasizes the importance of understanding individual belief systems and the ways these beliefs shape behavior. In this context, group members explore the underlying assumptions and fears that keep them from engaging in social activities or forming new relationships. One situation that highlights the complexity of group dynamics is dealing with mutually hostile members. The pros and cons of using group time to address these issues are significant. On the one hand, addressing the hostility openly can provide an opportunity for problem solving, help members become more accepting of differences, and potentially build group cohesion. However, there is also the risk that the hostility may persist, turning the group into a battleground and disrupting the work of other members. If the members involved can accept their differences and agree to disagree, the leader might allow some group time to work through the issues. If not, it may be necessary to ask one or both members to leave the group to preserve the overall effectiveness. The importance of a strong theoretical foundation for counseling group leaders cannot be overstated. Having a deep understanding of theory enables leaders to help members gain insight into their problems and pain. In therapy groups, where complex issues are often addressed, the group dynamics alone may not be sufficient to facilitate change. Leaders who are well-versed in psychological theories can teach these concepts to members, empowering them to understand and manage their issues more effectively. This knowledge allows the leader to guide the group process in a way that promotes growth and healing, ensuring that the group meets its therapeutic goals.